Welcome to lesson 060 of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In today's lecture, we will dwell on the teacher-centered model of pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Upon completion of this lecture, our audience will be able to discuss the teacher-centered model of pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Pedagogy of teacher-centered teaching in entrepreneurship education. In literature, there are two major traditions of pedagogical practices: teacher-centered tradition and learner-centered tradition are commonly found in the existing literature of the education. These two pedagogical practices are described below. Surveying the literature reveals that there have been several terms associated with these models, such as teacher-controlled, traditional, objectivist, or, to use Burton's 2000 term, performance models. As the term suggests, in a teacher-controlled class, the teacher is at the center of the learning process. Burton 2000, who categorized the models as dichotomous, refers to these models as the performance of visible model because teachers' pedagogic control is clearly visible to the students, as the teachers tell their students the content of learning and how they learn in a strongly structured lesson. Moreover, the focus of learning is on the specific output the particular text students are expected to construct and the skills they need to produce the expected output or text. Teacher-centered models are heavily influenced by the behaviorist learning theory, which enhances teachers' authoritative role in class and whole class didactic teaching, while it minimizes students' choice and interaction. As a theory of learning, behaviorism originated from the work of Thorndike, 1911, Pavlov, 1927, and Skinner, 1957, and prevailed in the 1960s and 1970s. The behaviorist model of learning is influenced by the scientific laws of stimulus response and the use of trial and error. Success in learning, Zhao and Brown clarify, relies on the stimulus response as well as on the other associations that students make. Hence, teachers' role is to encourage the intended behavior by creating a stimulating environment which places the attention in the learning process on teachers. Therefore, Liu et al. 2006 and Hetia and Zaira 2018 indicated that the assumption in these models is that students are passive and teachers are required to look for incentives so that students react to stimuli and learning happens. However, in their study of life in Botswana classrooms, Fowler and Sigda 1991 argued that although Botswana classrooms were predominantly teacher-centered, pupils were not always passive and silent. Teachers may try to motivate their pupils and encourage their participation, even if that means they depend on asking factual questions. In teacher-centered model, Zhao and Brown 2015 pointed out that rewarding the desired response is essential for learning to happen. Carroll 2014 explained that models influenced by behaviorism reward students appropriate responses by using various praise systems such as verbal praise, awards, and antics in jotters due to the belief that this is how students learn best. Punishments are also used to discourage inappropriate behaviors. However, in Guthrie's 2011 teaching styles model, domineering teachers who enforce obedience using physical sanctions, such as corporal punishments, are called authoritarian. Authoritarian teachers are different from formalistic teachers, as Guthrie 2011 explains that formalistic teachers control learning and use negative sanctions as low marks, but they may occasionally offer students an active role and may be flexible in their methods. Wellsbrough et al. 2013 provided examples of practices which models shaped by behaviorism usually adopt, including lecturing, demonstration, rote learning, memorization, choral repetition, and imitation or copying. In teacher-centered classrooms, the goals of learning are selected and knowledge is transferred from teachers to students, accompanied by a strict control of classroom behavior. In addition, there might be some limited teacher-student and student-student interactions which are controlled by teachers. In formalistic teaching, Guthrie 2011 pointed out that teachers ask closed-ended questions in classwork settings. Westbrook et al. 2013 and Carroll 2014 indicated that students' minds are viewed as empty vessels or tabula rasa to be filled with knowledge. Therefore, direct instruction is the most common method teachers use in teacher-centered models. However, Westbrook et al. In 2013 differentiated between direct instruction, which is teacher-led, from teacher-centered practices, in that direct instruction often allows a certain scripted and even prescriptive sequence. But later in the lesson, they may develop into more learner-centered activities. According to Mendenhall et al. 2015, direct instruction is one of the most important teacher-centered strategies in education. In a study which was primarily motivated by the prevalence of recitation, Clark et al. 1979 analyzed the impact of teacher behavior in classroom recitations. Based on Clark et al. 1979, using direct instruction is effective when used with an appropriate balance of questions. The study suggests that low soliciting, which involves asking students only about 15% higher order or reasoning questions, can be effective in inducing achievement on both lower order and higher order achievement test questions, for which only the teacher is the main provider of information. Due to the influence of the behavioral theory of learning in teacher-centered models, the teacher is in control of learning and what actually happens in class. In teacher-centered model curriculum, students' achievements are prioritized over meeting their needs. Assessment is exam-oriented, so objective tests are used to measure students' achievements. According to Cornelius White and Harbaugh 2013, learning is characterized by competition and individualism. There is a heavy reliance on teaching content rather than focusing on the learning process. The outcome of covering content then is teachers' limited use of open questioning or work on problem-solving tasks. Therefore, it is argued that teacher-centered models limit students' active engagement in the process of learning. Furthermore, it is argued that teacher-centered models do not support deep learning. In the course of this lecture, and in line with our instructional objectives, we were able to discuss the teacher-centered model of pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Please support us by 1. Following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2. Subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3. Liking, commenting, and sharing our post. Thank you and see you in our next lecture.